Hello, everyone. Well, let's talk about Elon Musk's um, tenure as president thus far. So, it's hard for me to go over everything, but basically, Trump was elected. Um, Trump claimed that Project 2025, which the Heritage Foundation or someone there within it had leaked over a year ago. Everybody read it and everybody was scared and said, "Hey, what the fuck is this shit? This is fascism." And nobody took it seriously. The media pretended it didn't exist. Trump pretended he had no connection to it and it didn't exist. And then Musk, like a leech, attached himself to Donald Trump and his campaign, infused it with a $250 million, and I suspect rigged the election in favor of Donald Trump. There's no fucking way that dipshit, who fucking killed a million people, a million Americans at the very least, tried to overthrow the government once, said that people should inject bleach into their fucking veins, was impeached twice, became a felon 34 times over again, and was on his way to getting convicted for stealing classified documents. There's no way that dickhead won every fucking swing state. I don't give a good goddamn how fucking stupid you are or how far your head is jammed up your goddamn ass. There's just no way that's fucking possible. So, anyway, supposedly Trump won. And then some right-wing talking heads online were saying, "Ha, we got you." Turns out that Project 2025 was the plan all along. And those of us on the left said, "Yeah, no shit." And the Democrats were like, we don't believe any of this. We believe that the Republicans are always on the up and up. We're going to give Donald dipshit Trump a second chance. Of course you would, you feckless fucks. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Trump gets into office. First minute in office, it's all transphobia. A number of different, like I think it was 26 executive orders, many of which contained just transphobia. I can no longer get a passport with my proper gender on it because of this shit. Regarding the healthcare stuff in the executive orders, a local or a judge somewhere, but I know that my attorney general here in Washington, who just came in this year, and so far he's knocking it out of the park. He got that a lot of the transphobic stuff about healthcare and identity and whatnot, got that reversed by a judge because it was clearly illegal. And the laws of Washington State are supposed to protect trans people. I've been discriminated against. I tried to get help from the state, and the people that worked there were themselves transphobic, and so I didn't get any help. But that's a whole another matter. So we've got that. Now anyone with a brain knew that because Donald Trump had been spewing it for the past 4 years, that if and when, and he was pretty certain that it would be when he got back into office, it would be all about, transphobia and racism and anti-immigration and all this other shit. And I would really love to talk about each one of these things independently, but for the sake of brevity and your collective attention span, I'm just going to focus. I'm going to kind of gloss over things a little bit, but I'll come back and talk about this stuff more in depth in another video or later videos, whatever. Anyway, so we knew it was coming. We suspected, everybody on the left suspected, that Project 2025 was the blueprint. It was the game plan. Well, big surprise. Now, an unelected billionaire douchebag, Elon Musk, who not only can he not build a car, he can't run a fucking social media site. He's tanked Tesla. He's tanked Twitter, which is now worth even less than the $44 billion that he paid for it. He was worth 11 when he made his offer for it. Anyway, and that fucking piece of shit did a goddamn Nazi salute. Two of them, 2 Nazi salutes. I tried to make a video about that, and guess what? YouTube fucking removed the goddamn video because it said that I was promoting hate speech. Probably because I didn't have any commentary around it. But that's, it makes it pretty clear. If the algorithm on YouTube is flagging it and removing it as hate speech, a hateful act, and fucking Nazi salute, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know. And of course, after Trump was elected, supposedly, the media suddenly did 180 and started sucking his dick and pretended that Elon Musk did not do a Nazi salute, just a gesture. No, it's not a fucking gesture. But that tells you just where the media is. The media, thanks in part to the actions of Republicans over the decades, George W. Bush, Reagan, they've allowed the media to be consolidated and bought up by a handful of people who are right-wing billionaires. And so they get to infect all of these different networks and news outlets with their conservative messaging, and then it spreads it like a virus. That's why America has been steadily turning right-wing for the past, 45 years? Ever since Reagan, basically. There's a long history to that, but I won't get into it. Yeah, I've been studying this stuff for a long time, so I know all the ins and outs. But we knew it was coming. They've started implementing Project 2025. They're going from agency to agency and firing tons of people. The stupidest fucking thing these guys did was to attack the FBI and the CIA. Here's the thing about the FBI and CIA. They will do whatever fucking any president tells them to do. They're not beholden to the American people. They never have been. They do what's in their best interest and the interests of whatever president they're serving. But dipshit Donnie, out for revenge, made them enemies, like right away. I'm just like, it's their own stupidity that undermines them always, and that's the case with all fascists. Here's the thing: fascism never lasts. Okay, not for any great length of time. Yeah, maybe in a few pockets here and there, especially when they're bolstered by the U.S. government. But on the whole, fascism will only last a few years because it burns itself out. There's no loyalty, there's no checks and balances, there's no freedom for the people. And here's the thing: if you have a free people, to whatever extent Americans are free, and then you take away their freedom, what happens? They get pretty fucking pissed off pretty fucking quick. And then you're dealing with a large group of people over a vast, great distance who are fighting you. How are you going to contain that? You think Homeland Security is going to be able to deal with 100 million people? There have been studies done by the U.S. government that it only takes 3.5% of a population, any population, to overthrow the government. So, these fucking Nazis, they go and they want to take over the government. They say that they're not going to abide by any rulings that any judges put down. They have since done so with regards to the CDC, because they gutted all the information on the CDC. They cut off they cut us off from the World Health Organization right during a bird flu, a potential pandemic. You know, talk about deja vu, and all this other shit. And then a judge orders them to put all this stuff with the CDC back, and so they do it. I mean, who knows how much of it was destroyed or purged and will never come back. So there's all this stuff. Now they're going. Elon Musk went into the Treasury. We don't know what he did. We don't know what they did. It's he and a bunch of his employees, basically, an unelected billionaire, you know, stealing all of our fucking information. And now he's at Social Security, and you know, just going through and gutting everything, just like he did with Twitter. They literally did. They're doing the exact same thing to the United States government that they did to Twitter. Well, first of all, that asshole overpaid for Twitter by, was it $30 million? Or $30 billion, excuse me. And then he tanked it by firing everybody so it wouldn't work. It was glitchy. And allowed Nazis to take over. And now it's a fucking cesspool that's worth a fraction of what it was when he bought it. And wasn't even worth what he paid for it to begin with. He's now doing that to the United States government. Part of Project 2025 is to basically destroy the United States government from within, replace all of the people within the government with with loyalists, people whom are loyal to Trump, and run it like a business. But you can't run government like a business because they're two entirely different things. One is entirely dependent upon profits, and the other is not, amongst other reasons. So if you're on Social Security, you should be worried. If you've been paying into the system, which presumably everybody has, you should be fucking worried. If you live abroad, just consider this and think real hard about this. The massive cache of nuclear weapons that the United States government has is now being monitored by what, maybe 1/3 the people that it was, because Musk and Trump fired everybody else. Those people in those positions, they are responsible for the security of our nuclear weapons. What does that mean? That means that any clandestine organization, be it Russia, China, whomever, or who knows, some warlord someplace, can come in, broker a deal with Musk or Trump or whomever, and take a few nukes with them. If you live abroad and that doesn't scare the living fucking shit out of you, then you're too dumb to fucking live. Anyway, so I was talking about fascism. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but just deal with it. Here's the thing about fascism. It can't exist long term. Because people get tired of oppression. And the big thing is, fascists win battles, never wars. That's 100% true. And it's been borne out by history. You look back all throughout history, and dictators, you know, the old quote, "Let them eat cake." She was so distanced from the plight of the common person that she blurted out this quote for which she's eternally known. That's what's happened in the United States. Be it Democrat or Republican, they're owned and are operating at the behest of billionaires, the richest people on earth. And everything that's been going on now proves that. People all over the United States have been inundating their elected officials, demanding that they fucking do something, that they act. And Democrats are pretending that they have zero power. They're saying, no, we believe in bipartisanship. Why is it when Democrats are in power, the Republicans refuse to work with them and bipartisanship goes out the fucking window? But when Republicans are in power, the Democrats will literally kill children to appease the Republicans in the name of bipartisanship. How can anyone rationalize that? And yes, people are literally dying now. What we're seeing now in America, with how detached our politicians are from the people they're supposed to represent. Remember, America is a government by and for the people. Not by and for the 1%, not by and for the politicians. The politicians are supposed to fucking work for us. And now that we're calling them every day and bitching them out, they don't fucking like it. They're pretending that they can't do their jobs. They just show up and say, okay, yes, I'll vote for this, yes, I'll vote for that. Anyway, so we're currently in the let them eat cake era. Democrats and Republicans alike are going to find the fuck out. If the Democrats don't do anything to stop Trump and Musk, they, the Democratic Party, the elected officials, will become superfluous. They will become pointless. Their services will no longer be required. And I'm not threatening this, but it's been borne out by history, and the rhetoric on the right is certainly pointing to this. The Democrats will either be what they are now, which is controlled opposition, which will be even more controlled, or their positions will be eliminated because Trump and Musk aren't going to work with the courts anymore, and they're not sure as hell not going to work with Congress because they're not adhering to the budget that Congress passed. And so the Democrats are just, their positions are going to go away, and they're going to be allowed, if they're lucky, to go back to their home states and live out their lives comfortably with all of their millions. Or option 3, they're going to be liquidated in the, well, let's say the professional, in the CIA sense. Again, this is not a threat. I'm not threatening this. I'm saying that these are the most likely options. So what benefit is there, really? for the Democrats to stick their asses in the air and get fucked by the Republicans over and over and over again. If they had anything resembling common sense, they would understand that there is no benefit to that. That at the end of the day, if fascism takes over, they will be no better protected than any of us. Their asses really will be hanging out. Part of me thinks that they're going along with and voting for Trump's nominees as a means to curry favor, or I don't know, maybe to keep themselves alive. I mean, that's my cynical take on it anyway. I mean, it's hard not to be cynical when I've been right about so much of this shit. I've been saying for years that fascism isn't coming to America, it's already here. Here in a big way. In the biggest way that it's ever been seen in my lifetime. So, watching the dipshit Dems, the do-nothing-Dems, come out and go, bipartisanship, people are aroused. I don't like that people are being mobilized against me. I can't remember which one of the asshole Democrats said that. But if the Democrats truly did give a shit about this fucking country, they would have spent the last year and a half, and this goes for Kamala Harris and fucking Tim Walz, everybody, the consulting class that owns the Democrats, they would have been coming up with a game plan on how to fight Project 2025. Biden would have ensured that Project 2025 couldn't have been implemented. They would have ensured that Donald Trump could not again become president. But they didn't. They dropped the fucking ball, and I highly suspect they did it on purpose. I mean, what's it going to cost them? They're all fucking rich anyway. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Democratic Party is made up more of lawyers than anything else. No, if they get to survive, if they're allowed to live by Trump and Musk at all, then they're going to be just fine. It's the rest of us who are fucked and who are going to suffer. There's a lot more I could go over, but I'm running out of battery power and this is getting longer. Just know, this is a warning to everyone, to every government on earth. The United States has fallen. It is no longer an ally. Do not trust anything that is said by any representative of the United States of America. This country is compromised. Badly. Perhaps irreparably. NATO needs to build up its own forces because America is not going to be there. And in fact, America might be actively trying to hurt NATO. Musk and Trump have had more meetings with Vladimir fucking Putin than they have with any other president or prime minister or representative of any other nation. That should tell you everything you need to know. Musk and Trump have been threatening that, and the Department of Justice under them, have been threatening that anyone comes out and speaks out against their policies is going to get, potentially going to get thrown in jail. Which, I mean, that's not fascistic, is it? Let me tell you this. Fuck Donald Trump, fuck Elon Musk, fuck ICE, fuck this whole fucking regime. You want to come and try to throw me in jail? Hey, that's fine, asshole. You can throw all 70 fucking million of us in jail. You can try. I'm not worried. I have the will and determination to fight. I never joined the military. I never saw a cause or war worthy of my participation, but now I do. The preservation of the United States and of the people in it, the innocent people in it. That to me is a worthy cause, a cause worth fighting and dying for. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. Thanks for watching.